Hey there, Jumbled Sunshine here. Just checking in. It is day 4 of my Miracle Morning 30-day challenge. I'm just happy that I've made it this far so far. Today's been a pretty good Miracle Morning, a little bit different than the previous. I'm still kind of figuring out what this routine is going to be all about and stuff, but I thought that I would just give you a report. All right, so today, as far as waking up, it was pretty good. I didn't get to bed super early last night, but I got to bed early enough that it wasn't too awful. It was interesting because the alarm went off at 6:10, but I'd kind of been laying there awake for a little while. Like I just woke up and I was thinking, I wonder what time it is because I feel pretty good and I'm wondering why my alarm hasn't gone off yet. So, but where I use the Sleep as Android app, I was kind of like, I don't know, I always don't want to move because then I know it will go off. But I mean, if I'm awake, then obviously that's the whole point, is that it wakes you up when you're on an upswing of your sleep cycle instead of in this deep REM sleep where it's so hard to wake up. So I do love that. But today I kind of woke up naturally, around 6 o'clock, which is there's your miracle right there. Miracle morning for sure. When I got up, though, I remember thinking okay, this is still hard because at one point I walked back into my room to get something. I made the mistake of walking over by my side of the bed and I just wanted to climb in. I'm no, I'm not going to. I grabbed my water bottle, went back out. So, it really just takes some commitment and the real desire to really make a change and follow through. So today, one thing that really helped me was doing the affirmations a little bit better. I went ahead and pulled out the Miracle Morning sample affirmations, and I was quite impressed with them, and I wanted to actually read a little bit of one of them because I think that it was really motivating for me, and I think that it might be motivating for you. It starts out saying, I am just as worthy, deserving, and capable of achieving extraordinary levels of success and all of my goals as any other person on earth. And the only thing that separates me from those at the top is my level of commitment. That to me is really interesting because it's so true that when we don't achieve our highest potential, it's usually because we are not being committed to the things that we know will make a difference. And when I first heard about the Miracle Morning idea and was reading about it, I wasn't even so much thinking of whatever he was going to suggest that you do during the Miracle Morning. I was thinking to myself, wow, there's all these things that I've wanted to do for years that I know will make a big difference in my life that I'm just not consistent on. And I thought if I could use that time period every day and get it into a habit where I actually looked forward to it and just do those little things that we know will make a difference in our lives, I knew that could really help me. So I think that's an important part of this whole concept is the Miracle Morning is this wonderful tool that somebody has developed, but you don't need to feel like you have to do whatever is suggested by the book during that time. Now, I started out very basically with the lifesavers: S, silence; A, affirmations; V, visualization; E, exercise; R, reading; and S, scribing, simply because I didn't have a plan put together yet. And so I thought, well, I'll just at least do those when I get up so I have something I'm doing and then I can just start customizing it for myself. So I just wanted to quote to you that one part of the affirmations because it was very motivating to me. To follow up on that, what it also says is, I know that to do this, I must be willing to stay committed to my goals and doing what's right as opposed to what's easy at a level that I have never been committed before. So you've got to think of this as you know what, I'm going to make this change. And it's toward the beginning of the year right now. It's January 2017. So it's just a great time to say, you know what, I want to start fresh and I want to try something different. So I just encourage you to think of what goals you might have and what things that you know might make a difference in your life. And I recognize that not everybody is at the same place in life as I'm at. Right now, my kids are older. I have more time to myself. I don't have little ones banging on the door right now while I'm trying to vlog. But I've been there. I have 7 children, ages 12 to 24, and they were close in age, and I had very busy chaos around me for a long time. If you're a young mom and you're thinking, this is never going to get better, it's just always going to be so hard, I know everybody tells you to just try and enjoy it. And I know that that can sound awful because you're like, how can I enjoy this stress? But really, it's going to pass so quickly. And I just encourage you to spend time with those little ones because they're only going to be little for this tiny little bit of time. And then they're going to be these big grown-up kids and adults who are wonderful. I mean, they're wonderful friends to me, and I love them all. But sometimes if I look back on pictures or whatever, videos, I just miss that special time when they were all little and kind of life was so innocent and we had our own little sweet place every day. And I just encourage you to enjoy it while it lasts because it won't be there forever. And look at me, I'm getting emotional. Anyway, but that just shows how deeply that affects me, how much that means to me. Those years that I had being a young mom with little ones. And I hope that you can enjoy it. Perhaps your miracle morning will literally be the 5 to 6 minute miracle morning when you're in the bathroom. Maybe you just work hard to get your little ones all taking naps at the same time so that you can have a little bit of time to yourself. That's what I used to do a lot when they were little. At 1 o'clock, it was like everybody goes down for a nap. We just called it naps and quiet time. And the kids who were older were just supposed to go in their room, or if they shared a room, I put them in separate places so they kind of have their special little nap and quiet time place. And I would tell them, it's really important for everybody to just have a little bit of time. It's really important, even though it's lots of fun to be around your brothers and sisters and your family and all these activities, everybody can benefit from a little bit of alone time. So I told them, this is your time. It was about an hour and a half to 2 hours long. This is your time to, sit there and read books. I would make sure they had books in there. They had things they could color. The ones who were older who weren't going to fall asleep could just have that time to themselves. And that meant that mom got to go have time to myself because everybody, the littlest ones were sleeping and the little bit older little ones were doing their own thing. So mom got that quiet time. Anyway, that's what I used to do when the kids were little. I don't know if that could be helpful to anybody. Oh, one little tip on that is that if your toddler is kind of to the age where they're like, I'm not tired or I don't really need a nap, what a little trick I used to do is I would say, okay, you do not have to sleep. And I'd say, if you will lay down there with your head on the pillow for 15 minutes, when you hear the alarm go off, your nap time will be over. And this would be when they're at the age that they really need to sleep, but they don't want to, because the older ones can just stay awake the whole quiet time. But I tell them, if you don't fall asleep, I will let you wake up. Sometimes I did 15 minutes, sometimes I did 20. And I'd say, if you will lay there with your eyes closed, I'll sit right here and watch. Keep an eye on you. If you just lay there with your eyes closed, and if you are still awake after that 15 to 20 minute period, then you can get up and do whatever you want during quiet time. And you know what? 9 out of 10 times they would fall asleep. But the rule was that if they opened their eyes, then the time had to start over. And so by doing that, they just almost always fell asleep. So there's a little parenting tip, I guess, that could be helpful to some of you. Well, I've gotten really off track, and my oldest school-age son is waiting for me to go give him a haircut. So let me really quickly finish up about today's miracle morning. Anyway, okay, so I'll just do a really quick timeline here. 6:10, my alarm went off. I got up, got dressed, made my bed, drank my water, I actually got a little bit of like wake up by going out into the garage because it's winter. Went out to the garage to get the milk that I wanted for my cereal, and that was really good. I was like, hey, if I'm sleepy, stepping out where it's freezing for a few seconds is helpful. So visited with my husband and my junior high daughter and got my breakfast ready, sat down by 6:40. Then I started right in with silence and prayer, and while I was saying my prayer, I logged a few ideas and thoughts that just kind of came to me, and it reminded me of a time in my life when I was really struggling with some things, and I had heard a suggestion from somebody to pray with pen and paper in hand. And at the time I thought, well, isn't that kind of sacrilegious? Like, shouldn't you just like say your prayer or be writing, not both? But I tried it at the time, and I would just kneel at my bed with my pen and paper in front of me, and I would just be saying my prayer. And then as I talked to God about different issues that I was having and thoughts would come to my mind, I would just pause for a second and jot them down and then go back to my prayer. And it made such a difference because it was like this personal revelation to me of ideas that I was having, maybe some of them my own, some of them inspired or direct from God, but it just gave me ideas on how to solve some of the issues going on in my life. And so hopefully my silence and prayer time can be that way. And today it just kind of happened on accident, and I'd forgotten about that practice and haven't done it for a long time. So there's an idea for you too. Like I said, I went ahead and did the affirmations, and I did the sample ones, and I got thinking, I need to like type these up and then customize them for myself, because some of the things like aren't the way I would speak to myself. So I want to take those and customize them for myself. That's kind of one of my next goals. Okay, I started to do my visualization, and then I realized it was really hard to think through my day without knowing what my schedule was. So I decided to move visualization to the end of my routine when I do my calendaring and planning. So I skipped visualization, and I went ahead and went straight to my reading. And what I read was the Miracle Morning 30-Day Personal Transformation Challenge, and just the first part. And the first part was asking yourself this clarity question about what things you're grateful for. And it was kind of neat. It said like everybody has, if you think of like a book, everybody has one page that is full of, it's kind of like your bad page with all the negative things going on in your life. And you've got another page that's full of all the good things and great and exciting and awesome things happening. And both of them are reality. So you shouldn't be saying to yourself, oh, well, it's not realistic to just think of the glass half full because reality is this bad page. Well, what the question said in there, the clarity question said, why is the bad page more realistic than the good page? They're both parts of your life. And that's pretty powerful. Because I think sometimes we're like, oh yeah, blah, 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 happiness, flowers, rose petals, whatever, isn't realistic. But why? Why is that not any more realistic? I mean, yeah, we've all got stuff on our bad, stressful, challenging side, but we've all got things on our good side. My husband travels to third world countries for his job, and you can't do a trip like that without coming home and being like ridiculously grateful for the fact that you have heating in your home, the fact that you have a home, the fact that you woke up and breathed in the morning, the fact that you have food in your refrigerator. And even the poorest among us here in the United States have so much bounty compared to the people in these developing countries where he has visited and where I'm hoping to go visit at some point here in the future. So I decided to take a few minutes to just write down things I was grateful for. And so I did that as my scribing time. So I kind of had my reading and my scribing done. But what I accomplished today was silence and prayer, affirmations, a little bit of stretching exercise, I did my reading, I did my scribing, I did my planning, which included reviewing my roles and goals, my running list of to-dos. And so I think that's a pretty good day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that my random ramblings are actually helping give you some ideas on things you can do for self-improvement and make your life better no matter what point you're at in your life. So this is Jumbled Sunshine. Have a great day.